The lightsaber, the weapon of a Jedi. They are ever famous creations used by Sith and Jedi alike. I'm sure almost anyone has dreamt of having a lightsaber, so what if I told you that that dream could become a reality? It might, and I will be explaining how. But first, we must know what a lightsaber is. The word lightsaber literally means blade of light, and that's what they are. A lightsaber consists of a hilt with a retractable beam of superheated light that can cut through virtually anything. Now, how can we make one? In the Star Wars universe, a lightsaber is imagined as a lone hilt with a laser that shoots out and can be retracted, creating a blade. The mechanism, from what we know, consists of a crystal that resonates with the Jedi or the Sith using it. The crystal distinguishes the color of the blade as well as being the main component in creating it. The blade is basically a big super laser that can cut through virtually anything. The lightsaber has changed throughout its lifetime, though. In the expanded universe, lightsabers used to need an external battery pack, and evolved over time. The man currently on the screen is named Michio Kaku. He is the one who made the theoretical lightsaber design I will be explaining in this photo story. Now, for actually making our lightsaber, we would be able to make a laser that could cut through almost anything. The problem is that we can't control the laser's or the blade's shape. So our blade would go on forever in a continuous line. There's another option, though. Plasma is a super hot gas that we could contain with relative ease. The main problem still being the blade shape. The solution to that problem is a retractable pipe-like shape that pumps out plasma out of small holes in the blade. It is hard to explain, but you should be seeing a diagram of said lightsaber shortly. The plasma is very hot, though, and would melt any metal if used for the blade. The answer to that being ceramics. If we used a ceramic material, ceramics being extremely heat resistant, we could pull this off. Here you can see the diagram that I was describing earlier. You'll notice that there's a machine that's pumping plasma into a blade, and that blade has small holes in it. That is the one that I was describing. Now, to power that machine, you can't just shove some D batteries. That won't be enough energy. You also can't use a nuclear reactor for obvious reasons. The two possible solutions, I should say, are having a super battery small enough to fit in the hilt, or having an external battery pack. The easiest way is to have an external battery pack, but easiest is not always best. An external power source would be too easy to disconnect and very awkward. Some might be asking why we haven't just built one already. Here's why. There isn't currently a way to make a battery for the lightsaber. The main theory would be to use carbon nanotubes. They are very thin and long material. They are very conductive, and we could possibly fit trillions into the hilt. The reason we do not have these is that no one has invented a method of mass producing them. So until then, we sadly won't be able to be making our lightsaber. Once we finally do make a lightsaber, though, how would we use it? The answer is actually not so obvious. A lightsaber would not be practical as a weapon, believe it or not. They are too expensive and would be hard to use in combat situations. The most feasible uses I've come up with are quite the opposite of weaponry. The first being hospitals. We could adapt the lightsabers to be used for cleaner amputations. The heat of the lightsaber would immediately cauterize the wound, as seen in the movies on many occasions. They might also be conceivably used in surgery to not only reduce blood loss, but to replace stitches. You could just weld the wound together instead of sewing it. Another possible use would be in factories. They could be used as cutting tools in factories instead of water jet cutters or conventional blades. And as mentioned in the previous use, they could also be used for welding in this environment. So to sum up what we've learned, a lightsaber could be more feasible than we initially thought, but not in the way we expected. They would not even be used in the same way we expected, but would still be undeniably useful nonetheless. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I have legally purchased and therefore have rights to the music used in this photo story. I have obtained all the images used in this photo story from Google.